Alright guys, we're going to be hopping in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, and we're going to be taking it out on a drive on these nice, really random back roads. And we'll have a GT3 with us as well. But basically, this video is going to be about the Aston Martin Vantage from my perspective, an AMG GT owner's perspective. We're going to take it out on a drive, we're going to talk about how it handles, how it sounds, you know, the whole shebang, and then we'll talk about the interior. Well, starting off the video in some traffic. This is the best thing ever. First things first, I don't like these seats at all. I have some takeout in this seat, but that's basically all it's good for. It's too comfortable. It's really comfortable to the point that if you try to take this thing on the track or go on some winding back roads, it's not gonna hold you in place. And that's the first thing that I immediately realized. Whereas in the AMG GTS, I have the bucket seats. No matter how sharp of a turn you're in that car, it just holds you in place. This car, on the other hand, it's not the best. I'll keep it at that. Design-wise, it's kind of ugly. I think it's okay, maybe like a 6 out of 10 design-wise. Support-wise, maybe like a 4 out of 10. Not the greatest. In the AMG, the design is amazing. And I'm not saying this as a biased owner's perspective. It's just facts. The AMG seats are 10 times better than these seats. Probably because that car was meant to be taken on track. This one, as a lot of other people were saying, is more of a gentleman's car. I highly doubt many owners of the Vantage are going to be taking this car out on the track, and I can see why. Oh, I was going to do a pull, but I guess not, because there's a cop right there and behind us too. Hello! me over. It's a rental. We got some nice backfires though. If you guys didn't know, this car is also a twin turbo V8 with a dry sump, same exact engine in the GT. And yeah, this car is also front mid engine, same as the AMG GT as well. Before I drove this car and before I popped the hood, I thought it was a front engine car. I thought the engine was on the front axle, but it turns out it's behind the front axle too. So yep, same as the AMG. Another thing besides the seats that I hate, this is an absolute deal breaker for me. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but at highway speeds, there's this constant ringing sound. I have no idea what it is. I think it's the speakers trying to pump in some of that engine sound, but it's an absolute deal breaker. Like, I've been driving this car for a couple days now, as I've said, and I hate this. This is the first day that I've taken it on the highway. This is an absolute deal breaker. It's such an annoying sound. I'm gonna stop talking so you guys can hear it. You hear that? If I play with the throttle input, it's at a specific throttle input and it's really annoying. I'm gonna like play with the throttle a little bit so you guys can hear it. So nothing right now. You guys hear it? Hopefully it's just this one, because I don't know how other Aston Martin Vantage owners can deal with this. This personally is a deal breaker for me. You have no problem breaking the speed limit thanks to that V8. We are in track mode, which is conveniently you can play with the sport settings on the steering wheel. That's one thing that I really like. So we're in sport, which is like the comfort mode. And then if it works half the time, there you go, sport plus. One more time, track mode. Suspension, same thing. We're in track mode right now. And honestly, the suspension is very, very, very soft. Like, I would not take this car out on the track because of how soft the suspension is, even in the track setting. The suspension in track setting is softer than the AMG suspension in comfort mode. Let that sink in. You can easily daily drive this car compared to the AMG. I will say that. But basically, so far, suspension, not good. Seats, not that good. Very comfortable, but doesn't hold you in place. Oh my God, it's so loud. AMG GT is more of a track car slash race car compared to this car. This car has the 8-speed transmission as well versus the 7-speed dual clutch in the AMG. That transmission is really good. This one is pretty good too. I would say the downshifts are a little bit slow, not bad, like no deal breakers or anything. The upshifts, they're pretty quick. So transmission, no problems with it. And to be honest, it's not as clunky as the AMG transmission. Driving wise, even driving at low speeds, this car is not very emotional, if you guys know what I'm saying. Like driving the AMG in bumper to bumper traffic is still fun because you get that rumble of the AMG V8. And it's a lot more raw. You do have the AMG engine in this car too, but you just feel so disconnected. I will say though, even though this car really lacks in performance in my opinion, it looks absolutely beautiful. From every single angle, nice and wide, the tail lights look really nice. Got the Aston Martin logos, the quad exhaust tips, diffusers also really nice as well. Like I'm saying, design wise, it's actually beautiful. Even the wheels, really good. The front end is honestly really nice as well. Some people don't like the small headlights, but I think it fits the car pretty well. Plus the massive grille in the front. Basically, from any angle, this car looks really nice. Nothing to complain about. A really nice design aspect is also the swan doors. But weirdly enough, I want to show you guys that the passenger side door does not go up as much as the driver's side. So if you guys look like this, from this angle, and then like this, you can clearly see that this is slanted more, meaning that it's higher on that side and not on this side. See? Slanted more. It's more flat on that side. I don't know, is that just like Aston Martin build quality, or is it actually for some reason like the driver has to avoid the steering wheel when they get out? I don't know. Like I said before, these seats, I'm not a big fan of these seats. They don't really hold you in place that well, and they look kind of ugly. The steering wheel is pretty nice. Paddle shifters are also really nice. You get good feedback. Not bad at all. I also like that they're column mounted instead of mounted on the steering wheel. To be honest, the interior is very, very, very plain. They could have added some contrast by adding some like different color stitching or something, but it's literally just all black. And since this car does have the twin turbo V8 from AMG, let's do a quick sound check. So basically, in a nutshell, it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful. It's a very good daily driver. But me personally, I would not buy it for $160,000 and have it perform like that. Honestly, even a C63 coupe feels better. But design-wise, this car looks fantastic. There's not much that can beat it. And the good news is, if you really want one, they're really cheap now. Brand new, they're like 160, 170. You can get them now for like 75, 80. For a $75,000, $80,000 car, it actually looks pretty good. And overall, it's a very good car to daily drive. Even though it's rear-wheel drive, it's definitely doable. But in conclusion, this car to me, overall, is like a 6 out of 10. And I would pick my AMG GT over this any day of the week.